of course, you are probably paying less on fuel because you are not in Abuja for work. You are on recess. Those who will be asking, what are you and your colleagues doing in respect of the hike in the price and some of the issues related to the hardship that Nigerians are facing?
Well, I don't think it's a matter of where you are. Everywhere you're in Nigeria, you are feeling the pangs of the crisis we have for PMS and allied products. I'm in Anambra State for some time now, and it has been very excruciating. Today, I bought petrol, 1,250 naira a liter, and it's been like that for some time. So in Abuja, I hear from my children that it's the same thing. If you see petrol, it's very difficult to buy. The prices are quite high everywhere. So it's a national problem. It's not a question of whether you're in Abuja or at home or wherever. So it's a national crisis that we have right now.
There are those who will say reverse that policy. And when we imagine, what are your thoughts on that policy and the way to go? The NLC is speaking, the TUC has spoken, the NBA has spoken, some minority caucus in the House of Reps have spoken about this matter. But what is your take? How do you think that the government should handle these things? Is impacting on the bottom line, the average living of every Nigerian?
Well, the cost of living is very biting now for every Nigerian, both the middle class, even those who pride themselves as the top class in the society, they are feeling the pinch. I think our problems have been as a result of people who have failed to do what they ought to do over time. The situation we find ourselves today is not strange to a lot of people, including myself, because what we are experiencing today is something that has been projected to happen. But those who are in a position to take the appropriate actions to save this country, for selfish reasons, refuse to do the right thing. There was no way anybody would have been expecting that we won't run into this PMS and allied products crisis in Nigeria, when our refineries have been shut for a lot of years now. We don't refine these products, and we relied solely on the importation of these products. There is no way you can regulate or control the prices of things you don't produce. When last year, Mr. President removed the oil subsidy finally on the 29th of May, some of us were happy that the sector where people have been sucking Nigeria dry, that regime would have come to an end. But it came without any plan to cushion the effect it will have on Nigerians. Because if you don't produce or refine these products locally, you continue to run into the problems of high cost of these products. When the subsidy was removed last year, a little while, the PMS pump price went to 637 naira. I granted interviews then and said that this is just the beginning, because it's just people celebrating what they didn't know they were getting into. So long as we do not get our refineries to work, there is no way we won't get to where we are today. Today is 1,200 and something. In some places, 1,004 a liter. And we have not done anything to even change the situation. As far back as 2018, when I was in the 8th Senate, during the request for approval for promissory notes to pay oil subsidy debts, running into hundreds of billions of naira, I did say, and it's on record, that if Nigeria does not begin from 2018 to start to do something about our refineries, either we'll start a new refinery or we get the existing refineries to go back to work. The Warri refinery, Port Harcourt refinery, and the Kaduna refinery. But it will be postponing the doomsday, because there's no way these things can happen. But because those who are managing the oil sector have abandoned their duties, they're not making money out of the oil subsidy, and they didn't think about how Nigeria will start producing these products.
But Senator, are you one of those who think that there are some cabals that are manipulating and frustrating the system such that it's impacting directly and frustrating and putting more hardship on the average Nigerian? Are you one of those who think that we should be asking a tough question of those who are heading the petroleum sector in this country? And what do we need to do about them?
Well, it is clearly obvious that some people are feeling fat on the situation. I also said this in 2018, 2019, that corruption has prevented Nigeria from breaking away from this problem because all the people who are in the sector are feeling fat on the dollars they make through this importation of PMS, into the Nigerian country. There is nothing they are doing to think about how to get our refineries work because they were making cheap money, easy money, but Nigeria was bleeding to death. So that's why at this time we are now, people who have run our petroleum sector, the oil industry, in the past 6 years or 5 years from 2019, I think that's when Mile Kyari came in 2019. They're still there. 5 years after, nothing has changed. Nothing has been shown to be working for the Nigerian people.
Well, Senator,
on their duties.
Senator, there are those who will blame you and some of your colleagues. You are representing the Nigerian people. If some of these ills and some of these rot are going on, how would you just allow it to happen? You play oversight, and some of the committees play oversight on these sectors. How do we allow these to go on unchecked?
No, we're not allowed these things to go on unchecked. One is that I am a member of the Nigerian, I'm a member of the Upstream Mineral Resources Committee in the Senate. And I know that we have been interfacing with the agency, the NUPRC. In fact, the current executive chairman, we screened him. And I asked him pointed questions on the screening day. I said, how are you going to resolve all these issues in our exploration sector, production? He gave us assurances that from the low production we're having of the crude, that they have the capacity and the knowledge and the expertise to shore up our production level to about 2.5 million barrels a day. At that time, we were at around 1.2, 1.25 million barrels a day. And here we are. There's no story. Nothing has changed. We've not improved on our production. And those who are managing the NNPC, as it were, are busy importing PMS, neglecting production. If you talk about oversight, there are two sides to it. Oversight and the executive function. Somebody placed these people on their duties. And we are still wondering why there has been no surgical operation in the oil sector. Those who are managing our oil sector.
Senator,
Nigerian people
so
are bleeding, we are suffering,
this issue.
And we cannot order their removal, for example.
But you can also, because you're an arm of government that plays oversight on the executive. So the question here is that as soon as subsidy was removed on May last year, it affected every aspect of production. It affected every aspect of the economy. Commodity prices went up. So there are those who are afraid now that if the prices go up again, up to 1,000 naira, when it's been announced that it's going to go up. So if it goes up, prices of commodity will be affected. The economy will be impacted, perhaps negatively. So the question is that there are those who say, look, on a normal climb, you and your colleagues would have rushed back to plenary and attend to this kind of situation where Nigerians' lives are directly impacted. At least you are the leaders representing the Nigerian people.
So we are doing a lot of things. We have set up a committee, an ad hoc committee, to investigate why the refineries are not working. The ad hoc committee went to Port Harcourt refinery, went to Warri refinery, went to Kaduna refinery, and came back with a report that very soon these refineries will come back to stream and start working. As we are doing this, we are asking the questions and putting pressures that these things should be addressed. It takes executive action to be able to call somebody who is there to order. The National Assembly does not sack people who are appointed by Mr. President.
So you can put pressure on them.
To sack anybody.
For example, there's a feeling that you should not be on recess. You and your colleagues should not be on recess. You should have vacated your holiday and attend to this matter of urgent economic importance in the country. That's the feeling in the land. I'm not sure that some of your constituents are telling you, but the feeling is that some of those who lead us in this country are not so sensitive to the plight of the average person. How can the National Assembly be on a recess while the Nigerian people are suffering and prices of commodity like petrol has gone up and you are on recess? Shouldn't there be a situation that you go back on emergency and attend to this kind of situation? You can put pressure on to the executive to make sure that things are being done to alleviate the sufferings of Nigerians. Senator.
Yes, well, it's good to pass this blame on the National Assembly. We did reconvene on an emergency on the 31st of July to address some of these issues, 31st July. And we're resuming from our vacation on the 17th of September, which is about next week. So there's nothing we cannot do when we come back that will make us to come back today, because these prices have been going up over time. And we have been waiting on the executive to do their own bit as well. The National Assembly will naturally, with oversight powers, raise issues of concern to those who are operating these sectors. But the executive has to do something. I was listening to the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Heineken Lokobiri, and he was saying that the Petroleum Industry Act forbids control of prices of petroleum products, that they are deregulated. The economy the sector is deregulated. It's a question of how much you buy, you sell. But the question is there anywhere in the Petroleum Industry Act where the executives is precluded from revamping the refineries? There's no such thing. So it is the government that will bring our refineries back to stream and refine these products to bring the prices down. It's an issue of policy. And those who are in the position to take these decisions are making games out of it, howbeit unpatriotically. Our Nigerian people are suffering.
Senator.
So I know that when we resume, I'm coming, when we resume, we will be in a position to put our voice again on the current issue. There are people who are not on vacation. The executive is not on vacation. They're not on vacation. So when these things are happening, they have the powers, unlimited powers, to deal with these current issues. Like I said, it's obvious that it's only a blind man that will not see that our petroleum industry, the managers and the operators, will need a surgical overhaul of the sector. We need to change what is happening there, because if those who are there for 5 years running are not able to solve this problem for Nigerians, I don't know what they're still doing there.
All right.
You have to do something to ensure that these problems are addressed through appropriate means.
Let's take a pause, Senator.